December, January. Yeah, election would be over. You refinance that house on a streamline if it's an FHA, but for the most part, you make six payments, we refinance you, and you're pretty much done. You took a house at a good price. Yes, the rate was not too high. They're slightly high, but not too high. They took a drop today. But for the most part, six payments, you do a refinance on a streamline, you got a house at a good price, and your rate is lower, and in that 6 months you have built some equity here. So that's what the agents need to start saying, like, hey, you're right, a lot of people are waiting for the election to drop, but why would you wait when this rate is only temporary? Get a house at a good time, at a good price. The rate is temporary right now because we know rates are going to drop. So that's what I tell the agents that when they come into our office.
So here's the thing with the whole Donald Trump saying, let's talk about that rate. I think I talked about it yesterday's training. It's great that rates are going to drop, not only in mortgage, I'm sure in the cars and in other stuff. But don't you guys agree with me? If the rates drop, there's going to be more buyers, and now they're going to have to overprice for homes.
Yeah.
So I don't get that part where agents are disconnected. Like, yeah, rates drop, lenders are happy, agents are happy, but now it's a betting competition. Now you have to bet against. You're gonna have to offer me more money for the house.
It's basically not staying on top of the market and not being the best at what you do, to be quite honest with you, Alfred. Because for me, what does that look like for me to be the best of where I'm at is I gotta know my market. I got to know where we're at with the rates, right? I got to know where more or less it's going to be because nobody has a crystal ball. However, I can tell you what's happening right now that even Zillow released a report that 1 out of 4 homes is going through a price reduction. What that means to you, Alfred, is that we can negotiate things for you now. You worry about the rate. How about we ask the seller to do a bite rate down for you? I see someone here in the mortgage side that I'm pretty sure he'll be able to tell me how much it will cost to buy that 1 point on the rate, and then I'll ask the seller to pay for it in the offer. Right now is the time to negotiate, Alfred, to get you a better deal. Do you want to negotiate a better deal for you? Or do you want to negotiate for you to just end up buying a home $50,000-$100,000 above the asking price, above what it's worth? Remove your home inspection contingency. Not have any rights, not have any saying on the home you're buying. You just want to stay quiet and give the seller everything that they want because that's what every buyer is going to do. Or we do it now and we can negotiate a lot of things for you on your behalf.
I would like, real quick, good morning, guys. I want to add something real quick. You guys were talking about what objections you get a lot right now, and Alfred, you touched on something. A lot of the objections or the question that I get from a lot of buyers is, John, is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to buy? I always get that, and I remember watching a training video, and the answer that is most, I guess, a little bit more honest is the best time to buy for the client is honestly when they can afford it. Right. It's just when you can afford it because everybody's situation is a little bit different. But like Arlen was saying, something that I always tend to tell to a potential buyer is, listen, if you buy now, the greatest negotiation tool we have is we're able to get a discount. And many times, depending on how long the property's been on the market, we can get a discount and potentially even closing cost credit. So we can get anywhere between $10,000 to $40,000 off of a home. Opposed to if rates go down, which everybody wants rates to go down. But if rates go down, and I think the target was anything under 5% or 5%, the moment that happens, I think the market's going to flood with buyers again. And like Arlen was saying, we're not going to be able to get closing cost credit discounts again. So I get that question a lot. And even though I explain it to them, it seems like the answer is almost unsatisfactory. I think they want me to tell them, yeah, you should wait till the election is over or until the rates go down. But the reality is that is not. That's not really the right answer. I think the right answer maybe is whenever the client is ready. What do you guys think?
Absolutely, Jonathan. You had to put some emotion and let people self-discover, right? So I like to use the acronym ARC, ARC, acknowledge, response, but then you got to close. right?
Mm.
So if somebody tells me that, I say, you could be right, Jonathan, and however, I've been doing this for 20 plus years. And let me tell you, experience that has happened to some of my clients. I've had them qualify in Highland Park where the average home is worth $1 million now for 550, and they decided not to buy. So by the time they were forced to, because at this point they had no choice because they got tired of moving around from apartment to apartment, I ended up having to sell them a home in Lake Elsinore for 470, where they could have bought it in Highland Park for 550. The home would have doubled in price already. So waiting sometimes is not the best option. Now, I have people that have been waiting 5 years because they're only paying $1,500 a month in rental. You know how much that totals to? $90,000 that they can refinance, that they don't have no equity on. And that's $90,000 that they paid off of someone else's mortgage. Because what people don't understand is you have a mortgage. It's just that it's not yours.
You're right.
So wait for the rates to come down. You can refinance. Wait for the president. What's going to happen if you don't like this president? You're going to wait for the next president. So you're going to wait another 4 years.
Sure.
Don't keep putting your future, your finances on hold for somebody else's, something you have no control of. You know what you have control of? Whether you buy a home today or not. Who the next president is going to be? It's completely out of our control.
Yeah, good answers, man. Thank you.
Well, well said, Jonathan. Well said. So those are a couple of things that are coming up, right? I call them objection killers. What about the people that tell you, I don't have money right now. I don't have enough money right now, right? There's still home, what is it? Down payment assistance programs, I believe.
Yeah.
There's that program still out there. Hey, you might not be able to use it in LA County, but you could use it in the high desert.
Yeah.
You could use it, I don't know, going towards San Bernardino somewhere, very far.
I'm closing one today. Total out of pocket $1,800 to buy the house.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got 17,000 closing costs, right?
Jesus.
And with the CalHFA down payment assistance, $1,800, and they have a $2,000 deposit at escrow, so they're like shocked, right? There's a lot of loans out there. That's what I'm saying. Who you work with matters. All these loans, that's why I always meet with my clients. I like when I set up the appointment, I meet with them at the office with the lender and I ask questions so we're all on the same page. I never do it over the phone. I always like to meet in person. But $1,800 to buy a house for $475 in Hesperia.
Damn, that's great.
4-bedroom, 3-bath.
1,800 bucks, huh?
1,800.
Yeah. So for the people that are saying that, there's no programs out there, there is. It's just that you need to go speak with your lender.
Yeah.
Talk to your current lender. Talk to the lenders that's on right now. There's so much
Alfred,
opportunities.
Like you're saying, the programs, like for us, we give closing costs back through the appraisal. Since we have an appraisal management company, we can call in and see what these comps are at, and if the buyer is willing to take it at a higher price but execute the contract at the listing price, and let's just say 500,000 is the executed contract, and we can do 515. As long as the seller is willing to buy for 515, or excuse me, the buyer is willing to buy for 515, the seller is going to give them back 15,000 on closing costs. And then we have a program where you can finance the 3.5% on FHA. I can put that on a second mortgage. So agents need to be, like you said, a little bit more knowledgeable, slightly, because what you don't want to get into is the lending side and start thinking you're a lender and you have all the answers, and then you trip on your feet and you lose the deal. But those programs like that is something simple. But guess what, Mr. Client, I can direct you to my lender and he can speak more about it.
Yep. We always talk about those things, right? Don't be a lender. Be an agent. Lenders don't be agents. Everybody needs to stay in their own lane. And that's just what's going on right now. There's still deals out there. You just got to buy in different cities. That's all. Right? There's going to...
Really, Alfred, I'm sorry. Can I ask a real quick question? I forgot the gentleman's name, but you were talking about an appraisal credit. So essentially, what Jesse? Okay, hey Jesse, you were saying that essentially a buyer could have the property appraised for a little bit higher. Let's say the contract price is 515. The appraisal comes back at the contract at 500. The appraisal at 515. Does that mean that that you're writing a contract for 515 and the buyer is essentially purchasing that property?
No. The contract will be written for the listed price at 500,000, right? And then we'll get an addendum for seller credit. And then the buyer will buy it at 515 and get a seller credit for 15,000. It comes back down to 500,000. Kind of like what you guys do when you guys give a seller credit. If you buy it higher, I'll give you a seller credit. Like agents do that a lot. So it's kind of the same concept, but through the appraisal.
But your buyer has to be approved for the 515, right, Jesse?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, you just do an addendum new purchase price to be 515. Seller to credit buyer 15,000 towards closing.
Right. As long as those comps hold, then we're good to go. We'll give them the money back, like a seller credit, and then we can give them a lender credit too. Sometimes it could be 1%. So it's possible. And then if they finance the 3.5% on a second mortgage, it's a possibility they may not come in with anything.
Wow. Oh, I mean, I'm just couple little nuggets because I never knew you could do that.
Creative. You guys got to be creative when you're out there qualifying a buyer. Always meet with the lender, and then when you're done after the consultation, you guys get the pre-approval, credit scores, proof of funds, and you start shopping and close them in 2 days. Boom.
So
yes.
that's good. We're having this conversation now. You imagine you're at an open house, and there's people showing up, and their lender, their agent doesn't know what you guys know. It's just these little nuggets you guys got. Why wouldn't they want to work with you? Right? We talked about the close yesterday. You're at the kitchen table. You're about to close somebody. Ask for the business. If you didn't bring enough value, and you're second guessing yourself why that person didn't sign on the contract, because if they can't sign, you can't help them. If you know these little nuggets you just got right now, right, Jonathan? I'll use an example. Now you could go back to all your buyers. Hey, I got some great news for you. We can buy a property this way. It's just called strategic financing, thinking outside the box.
Right.
And I could guarantee you 95% of agents don't know this. Just like 95% of us get confused with amendments and addendums. We talked about that yesterday. I still get confused. So it's just crazy, right? The amount of knowledge, once again, being in these calls, you can get. Just like the lender will share this with us, we can share with the lender what's going on because we're out boots on the ground, right? We're out there hitting the pavement. Like Beverly. Beverly's a master door knocker. She door knocks by herself at her own pace, at her own race, and her own lane. But she door knocks. And she just keeps doing it consistently. Like I always say, you keep hitting that piñata, the candy will eventually come out. And that's why being on top of these calls, right? You got to iron sharpens iron. We're here. We're learning. We even got Mr. Roberto Salas opening the camera because I know he's ready to speak and drop some nuggets. Robert, what's going on in the metaverse with you guys?
Not much, man. Same thing, just grinding, hustling, I think last week there was a bit of a conversation on social media too, how you can start adding that to your business. Just kind of give you guys a couple results from one of our agents. She's been doing this very consistently for the last 2 weeks. The only thing she's been doing is posting listings on Marketplace. And she already has 3 qualified buyers, almost $500,000 range. So, whatever you guys are doing, just keep doing it. Be very consistent. And a lot of nuggets here with the buyers, creative financing. A lot of agents don't know different strategies on how to get people into homes. I'm trying to get my brother into a home right now, trying to figure out how we can get some people that are interested in seller financing. So we don't have to go through, the regular channels of getting pre-approvals and all that. Again, that's going to be very niche, right? But there's still, if you're creative and you just kind of know the concept and kind of start talking about this, people are going to pay attention, right? People are going to pay attention, especially if you do that on your socials. If you do it anywhere you can, you're gonna show up as the agent that knows his stuff.
Very well said. Those I was as Jesse, I believe, was thinking, and I'm sorry, as Jesse was talking, and Arlen, those are a couple of reels you can create. Those are the type of reels you can create that bring value to people, right? Sometimes we get so I'll even tell you, so salesy, where we just post, sell, buy, sell, buy. We're not bringing value. We're very robotic. We don't share, like Arlen said last time. We don't share like, hey, I take walks with my dog. I have a Frenchie. We take walks. I love ice cream, etc., etc. Or I took the initiative, right? I made a video with him about we're going to be prospecting and cold calling. Sometimes we think that those things don't relate to our business, but if you don't show people that you're also a human being, you have a family, you like to golf or you like to drive BMWs on the freeway like Ben, if you don't share those things, people can't relate to you. Maybe there's some people here that like Beamers. Like I know Arlen loves Beamers. I know David Deanda likes Prius, stuff like that, right? But you get to know these people because you invest time in them. Frankie likes Cadillacs. She's a Cadillac person. And you, Robert, I know you like hoverboards. You think this is Back to the Future still over here riding those segways, right? But I know these things. Oh, I forgot. Carlos is in the call. Unfortunately, he can't talk. He's a BMW lover. He has 2 BMWs. Even Alex Garcia has a BMW, I believe. So there's a lot of things that we can share here too. Like, hey man, I'm on my BMW 3 Series. I'm on my way to an appointment, man. When you show up with a car like this, you show up confident. I don't know. I'm just making something up, right? But these are the things that you can share that people can relate to you, or maybe being part of a BMW club. There's a lot of car clubs out there. I used to go to Santa Clarita. They used to have coffee and cars, and a lot of those people that have those expensive cars got money. And like Grant Cardone says, who has my money? I gotta go look for it. Johnny used to say that all the time. I have to bring him up. He used to say, who's got my money? Somebody in this room has my money and I need to go get it. Because sometimes we get stuck thinking, oh, we don't have the money. We can't do nothing. Like David Deanna does Airbnbs. What happens if I find the guy that could do an Airbnb and I could say, David, hey, bro, you run Airbnbs. You know how to stage them. Can I partner up with you and you'll get more of it? At least I get a little piece, right? David, share something like that. I don't know, David.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something that you could definitely do. When it comes to Airbnb or real estate and stuff like that, I kind of try to stick to my bread and butter, and my bread and butter at the end of the day is real estate, right? Airbnb could cover the mortgage, can do all that stuff, but we have to remember that our commissions is pretty much what buys the Airbnbs, is what buys the property. So yeah, I mean, that's definitely passive and it's great. But with Airbnb, you also have all the problems, right? There's tenants that are not paying. There's tenants that want to stay there. So we all get all the problems. So just going back to the basics and going back to the training that you guys are doing here, I think we can't be chasing the shiny object all the time, right? And so this call is actually good because we get back to the basics, calling, role playing, and so definitely. I'm glad that Felix, you're doing this. I'm glad that Alfred, you're doing this.
Yeah. Sometimes, David, like I mentioned, sometimes we just got to go back to the drawing board. I think when new media comes out or new stuff comes out, everybody goes into panic mode, right? We all get spoiled. While there's a lead flow, whether yours is your referrals and things are not coming in, we want them like yesterday because we don't want to. Once you get paid a certain amount of money a month and it feels good, you want that pay every month, right? You don't want that month to like, oh man, now I'm back to making 20 G's. I want to make 50 G's a month. Shit feels good. Because then you don't have to worry about the next at least 3 months, just depending on how you live. But 50 G's, if you made 50 G's 1 month, you should be all in the next 3 months, like balls out to the ground, working, so that you stay in that. And then you're not stressed out taking vacation, going to blow your money in bottle service in Vegas, and then you come back and you're back to square one with no money. Now you're stressed out. You have commission breath. People can see that when an agent has commission breath, people will not hire you. When you're desperate, when you're trying to push somebody to do something they don't want to do, is not a good feeling. You don't show up at 100%. So like you said, David, it's very important, right? It's good to have all these things, but you're still gonna have to deal with problems. Let's not forget what got us there. Real estate, getting paid, doing transactions, making your calls, showing up to the office. Even if you show up to the office for 3 hours of prospecting, if you have family at home, I get it. The kids are still in summertime. I have to lock my door. I actually have a sign outside my door. You guys can't see it, but it's the same sign I have at my office door. It says on air. Then my daughter knows, my wife knows. They know not to open this door when that light's on. But I made that rule at my house because I don't want them coming here interrupting me, talking about Disneyland and stuff like that, because I'm in the call with you guys. I could miss something, but hey, I developed that system. And you guys could do it too, right? You just gotta show up every day. They already know at 9 o'clock, Daddy goes on Zoom. After 9 o'clock, at 10, we go back to whatever they want to talk about. They know that today's a phone zone at 3 p.m. to 5:30. I'm not gonna be able to go to Olive Garden because I have my days planned. And that's just the way it is here. Same thing. You do not want to be a zombie agent showing up to the office wondering what you're gonna do today. That's why it's important to get it on these calls, and I get it. Sometimes we don't talk about scripts. I get it. Sometimes we don't talk about certain things that the call's for, but it's okay. That's why we're here. This is a community. It's open game. We can talk about a lot of things that are important right now, which is changes are coming, and they're coming. I always say next week they take effect. And some of us, we have training. It's open for some of you here in this call. You might not be from Century 21. That's okay. You could join us at our training. We're not going to try to recruit you. I say things straight out. Come to our training. We have his attorney coming soon. Alex posted the address here. You guys are more than welcome to come. Let us know you're coming so we have enough seating, because it's important for you guys to know all these changes that are coming with these laws. And we're going to have the attorney and, of course, our weekly Wednesdays 1:15 call. So show up. Let us know how we can help you and how we can all grow together. Maybe Alex, is this gonna be live on Zoom? Is there gonna be a Zoom link for it or not? I'm sorry, we couldn't hear.
Or the attorney meeting?
Yeah.
Usually we do not do Zoom,
Okay.
but
Got it. Got it. No, there won't be no Zoom, Robert. I know Robert is he's a techie guy. Most of his calls he likes to do live. He streams stuff live through Facebook and Instagram. So I'm sure that question was in his mind. But Robert, we'll try to get as much information as we can get to share with our Real Closers community and everything that we got going on right now, right? But I do see Tabitha here. Let me give a shout out to people that are here. I just opened up my screen. I see Beverly, David Deanda, Alex Garcia, Felix, Robert, Mr. IE, Jonathan Robertson, Mihanzen, Carlos, Zoom user. I'm not sure who Zoom user is. Nicole, Jesse's here. Viviana, hello. Rebecca, iPhone, hello. Frankie, hello. Mr. iPhone or Mrs. iPhone, hello. Jonathan Hurtado, hello. Tabitha's in the house. What's up, Tabitha? Congratulations on your new listing. I know you're at work. I'm going to give you a virtual high five. Who else do I see? I see Sarah. Hello, Sarah. How are you? And I see Maria. Does anybody have any questions, anything you want to address in this call? This is a time.
Hey, Alfred.
Yes, sir.
I want to say something. You mentioned something earlier. Sorry, I was actually in the middle of a conversation over here, but you said something earlier about the reels. Yeah, you guys got to get on social media. And like Alfred, I've seen you lately. You've been on social media a lot, where you and I even talk like, hey, man, what app are you using? Because obviously you see I'm on social media all the time. Like I'm out there trying to advertise not only myself, but the product that I have, that we have. And you guys don't understand, some of you that are not on social media, you're a brand. You're a brand, you're self-employed, you're an entrepreneur. So you got to get out there and you got to advertise your brand. Alfred's doing it. And yeah, Alfred's videos are actually coming out pretty good. I called you the other day and I even sent you one of my videos just to see how it would how you would edit it. And so, you know, there's people on this call that have been to our office to get reels. Ben, Mr. IE's been there, Frankie's been there, Maria's been there, and you just want to talk about your brand and what you do for the community. And remember, the first 3 seconds of your reel is the most important part, because you got to catch their attention within the first 3 seconds. And if you don't, then it's just going to be like another reel and it's going to keep scrolling. So get out there and brand yourself on social media, because right now that's where the business is coming from. At least for me, it is. And I know there's some agents that are getting business off social media. And we help agents to build their brand on social media, and we don't charge them. So I just want to put that out there.
No, absolutely. It's funny you say that. You're right. The first 3 seconds, you need to grab my attention, right? That's one of Grant Cardone's rules is money follows attention. Now, let me share with you guys real quick. You see this in my hand? This is 100 hook ideas. This exactly talks about what Jesse's talking about. I have 100 different hooks on how to grab your attention doing a reel. And I'm actually, Jesse, just so you know, I look at what hook I'm going to use, and then I create the reel. But I'm going to scan this and share it with everybody next time on a PDF. I did a class with Grant Cardone on marketing, and they gave us 100 hook ideas. I'll share one. For example, I can start my reel like, hey, check out this before and after of this property, right? You show how ugly it used to look, and maybe you fixed it. Now you're showing the after. Here's another one. Struggling with your business. Here's 3 ideas of how to help you. There's so many hooks in here. I'm not going to share them all, but if you want them, raise your hand here. I'll scan this later and I'll send it to you. It's 100 hook ideas of how to create reels or stories to grab people's attention, right? You're grabbing people's attention on social media. That's the whole point of you putting yourself out there. You're not out there trying to pick up on people. I hope you're not. I hope you're using your business to get more business, right? You're using your business to be an inspiration to somebody else that has no business. Because there's business out there, guys. There's a couple, and I'm going to say their name. They're from another, I won't say where they're from, but I'll just say this. Their office is in Diamond Bar. The guy's name is John Algada. I don't know him and how his girlfriend, I think Jasmine Haro is her last name. I don't know how they're doing it, but I'm going to call him today because he's a very good friend of mine. And I'm going to ask him, how the freak do you consistently get these listings in Chino Hills? And these are not small little listings. These are multi-million-dollar properties that he gets on a weekly basis in Chino Hills. And I'm just going to call him and pick his brain for 15 minutes. See what nuggets I can get from him. And guess what? I'm going to drop them on you guys. Sometimes you need to ask for help. Sometimes we get stuck like, oh, I don't want to bug Felix. Oh, I don't want to bug Jonathan. Oh, I don't want to ask Robert what's going on with Houster or in Ventura County. Or I don't want to bug Ben what's going on with an investor. You might have an investment property that's coming up, and you want to go to Ben and ask him, hey, I got this property. Maybe you want to buy it. Can you help me through the process? And sometimes you got to pay to play. What does that mean? Hey, if you have a property that Ben can buy, but you don't want to sell him to him too high, and in exchange he represents you, but then you give him a little discount and help him walk you through the process of buying that property. The next time around, which there's always going to be a next time, now you have a property that it might be a flip, then you can do it, but at least you learn from somebody and you had to pay to play. Because just like Felix had to pay to play, I had to pay to play. When I was part of another team, people were taking 50% of my commission. Now I get it. If you're on Zillow Flex, Zillow's taking away between 30 and 40 off the top. So now you're left with 60. Then the broker might take another 20, 30. So you're literally working for Zillow Flex. You're only making 40% if you're lucky. Now I get it. 40% is better than nothing, right? Because you have a constant lead flow. But that means you have to do 5 transactions in order to make as much as I do in 1 transaction. So are we going to work smarter? Are we going to work harder? What platforms we should be a part of? Everything of that is important because it's going to take up your time. And sometimes we think that, oh, we're busy. Are we busy being productive? Are we busy working in our business or on our business? Because it's 2 different things when you're working in it and you're working on it. You need to work on the things that are making you money. The first half of the day, right? I always tell you guys, I have 3 days in one. My day starts at 4 a.m. From 4 a.m. to 12 p.m. is day 1. That's 8 hours. Think about it like this. From 4 a.m. to 12 p.m., that's 1 day. From 12 p.m. to 8 p.m., that's 2 days. From 8 p.m. to 4 a.m., that's 3 days. Now you guys might be thinking, how the hell are you working 3 hours in one day? So here's an example, real quick, because people ask me, how's your schedule? Everybody knows for the most part, I wake up at 3:45. 3:45, wake up. First thing I do is rehydrate, pray, let my dog out, meditate. Boom, 5 o'clock, meet Felix at the gym. We're at the gym for 1 hour. Come back home, take a shower, get ready. Boom, go back to the office and get ready for the day. We do training. After we train, we take a lunch. After we take a lunch, then we go back to following up. If you don't have appointments, you follow up. If you have appointments, you go on appointments, and then at the end of the day, you still follow up with your appointments. But you have to have a routine. You have to have something going on, right? So the day starts at 4 a.m. I'll say it one more time. It ends at 12. That's day one. From 12 to 8 p.m., that's day two. And from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m., you're like thinking, Alfred, what the hell are you doing from 8 a.m. to 4 a.m.? Real simple answer. I have automation. My CRM is working for me. But because I did the work and set it up, it's working for me. It's sending out market reports. It's sending out videos that I created and I did libraries for them. It's sending out ringless voicemails that I created. It's sending out texting and email campaigns that I created on automation. So I have something working for me from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. While some of you guys are sleeping on your third dream, my CRM is working for me. So just want you guys to think about it like that. You got to treat this like a business right now, especially if things are going to get easier, I guess, if the rate goes down. Yes, we're going to have a lot of buyers, but now you're competing with a lot of other agents. And you don't want to be, I believe Arlen said this, you don't want to be the agent that's only good on the good season. You want to be an agent who's good all around, because when the good times come, which I know they will, and you meet up with the seller or the buyer, you say, well, yeah, I know you're going to interview other agents, but where was David at 3 years ago when the market was hard? He hasn't sold anything. And look at me. I've been active for the last 3 years. I sold 500 properties. So that's where you're going to stand out. If you can deal with this through these times, and I'm still learning, I'm fairly new. I'm sure David Deanda's been through a market like this. It doesn't last forever from what I keep hearing. It goes in cycles. It goes up, it goes down. It goes up, it goes down. So we just have to prepare that when that market, whatever that market is, right? When the buyer asks you this question, and I know this question, Jonathan asked this question, is it a great time to buy? Here's the best way to answer that question. Is it a great time to buy, Jonathan? Do not sound like every Mike Ferry script agent out there. Oh yeah, it's always a great time to buy. No, it's not. Here's the way you answer that question. Is it a great time to buy? Actually, yes, it's a good time to buy. Now, let me ask you this. What market are you in? Are you buying, selling, investing? What market are you in? Because everybody is in a different market. You might be dealing with investors. You might be dealing with somebody that wants commercial. You might be dealing with somebody that wants to buy rentals, or you might be dealing with somebody that wants to sell their stuff. Who knows? But you gotta sound like a professional. You do not want to sound like every other agent on the call. Just like when our call expires, they say, "Oh my God, you sound just like the agent Benjamin that just called me." And I say, "You're absolutely right. We're all scripted to say the same thing. The difference between me and Benjamin is blah 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 blah." So that's what you want to do, right? Because everybody's making calls right now. Some people are working. I did find out over the last 3 weeks, there was a couple open houses where agents helped me. A lot of these agents are still not going to open houses with their clients. Now, remember what they said. In order for them to see the house now, they're going to have to sign a contract or a form. And also, these buyers that are showing up, you're going to have them write a buyer agreement in order for you to even show them the house. So many things are changing. I want to thank everybody for their time. It's already 9:50. I know I try to respect everybody's time. We get in this rant and we talk about all kinds of stuff. These are great calls. I record them and we save them and we do reels from them. Anybody want to share anything that's going on right now with the group? Anything, any objections you have? I do see some hand raisers here. I see Mihaz and I see Beverly. Anybody, unmute yourself if you can, if you want to share something.
I just wanted to share that one of the things that you can also start doing is running some Facebook advertising. I'm going to interview a guy that his business model is hire virtual assistants, ISAs for real estate. And one of the things that he's added to his business is running Facebook ads. So we're gonna go over the ads that are working right now for his clients. What type of ads I think we're gonna be giving out samples of ads that you guys can run as well, and also kind of take the little bit of reality to Facebook marketing, right? What works, what doesn't, what are the expectations, what type of results you could expect from running ads, and really what's the real purpose of running any paid marketing. So if you guys are interested, tomorrow at 12 p.m. We're gonna go over that. If you guys want the link, just send an email to roberto@houster.com. I'll put it over here.
Yeah, put it in the chat, Robert. I was gonna say that. Put it on the chat. Yeah, and anything you guys want to share, put it in the chat. I know Alex last week, she shared how to get market reports, right? Market reports for any local area of you. I said this yesterday, Robert. Everybody thinks that the reason why they're gonna go door knocking is, oh, I just sold, I just listed. No, 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 no. You could also go door knocking a market report for that community. Become the local agent, become the local expert. And we shared. I'll try to share the link here again. The link is from Alto Research. It's free. I'll paste it here. Take initiative, guys. Take action. I was right away. I bookmarked it, and now I'm gonna put it part of my presentation. We're gonna be working on a buyer presentation at the office. We're gonna be working on a listing presentation at the office, and we're also gonna do two segment course of open houses. We're gonna do one at the office, in the office, and then we're also gonna look for a local house that's vacant, and we're gonna play a scenario. We're gonna see if we can get our photographer to go with us, how to correctly do an open house right now and be effective. Not just put signs and go to the open house and pray that you get the buyer. Remember, an open house is not for you to get the buyer. If you do, great. I had a successful run with Carlos. Carlos knows what to do in an open house. And the last open house that he's been doing for me, he's always got me we double-ended it. So some of us here, we do open houses, and if you're having 20, 30 people and you're not getting one deal off of it, something's wrong. Something's wrong that you're not doing at an open house. Now, if you're afraid to have somebody join you at an open house and they don't sign in, I'm sorry, you got to leave my open house. If you're not signing in my open house without an agent, you need to sign in, and you have to make it mandatory. Now, I get it. Some of us don't want to ask people to sign in. I'm sorry. It's mandatory to sign in because I know there's liabilities. If somebody goes in your house and they trip over a carpet or they fall on a step, guess who's responsible for that? You are. You are, and the seller of that open house. So that's why when people sign in, they know that they're signing in. I'm sure there's a disclaimer there that says, and I'm sure there's a disclaimer out there that protects you from somebody falling, slipping at that open house, or possibly getting bit by a dog. Unfortunately, not to bring that up, it's happened in our family, in our business. Be careful out there. If the owners have dogs, they need to get rid of them while you're at the open house. I made the mistake of having owners leave their little chihuahuas in a cage, but moving forward, if an owner has a pet and you're doing an open house, they need to take that pet with them. Do not be responsible for doing an open house with pets there, because people can get hurt, and it already happened. You do not want to be responsible for that. We had another seller, I'm not going to say his name. We had a seller where he had his 3 Frenchies in the garage, and the dogs, all 3 of them died of heat exhaustion. So I hate to share that news, but we have to be careful at open houses. We're not just putting up signs and hoping and wishing, oh, I'm gonna get the buyer. No, the open house, if you're an agent hosting an open house, the purpose of an open house is for you to get your next contract, whether that it's another buyer or another listing. Now, with these new forms that are changing, everybody needs to sign in. If buyers show up with their agent, of course they don't sign in, but you still ask for the business card. You still got to get a business card of there with an agent. If they're not, they need to sign in these open houses, because once again, we had an incident where somebody got bit by an animal and somebody slipped, and we are liable for that. Whatever happened to that open house during that time, I'm sure we are responsible for that. Anybody else? I know 9:56. I see Jesse. Jesse, the
Alfred.
man, the myth, the legend. I mean Jesse Morfin, not Jesse Moreno.
Yeah, well,
Go ahead, Jesse Moreno.
Jesse
Inside.
Morfin. I haven't talked to him in a long time. What's up, Jesse? It's Jesse. Real quick, bro. I just want to give a quick shout out to you guys over there at Primetime because you guys are the only ones that, because I go to a lot of offices that have an open door policy where you guys have said right now, Felix said it's open to the public. You guys want to come and check it out? Come check it out. You guys have never been greedy where you guys, just want to shut the door and don't let nobody in unless it's your team. And you guys have always done that. And you guys hold the trainings, the culture in that brand, in that office, from Felix on down. You guys are doing well. Maria Cabrera's on this call. She just opened up her office, just said, you know what, screw it, I'm going to open it up. And now she's trying to get her office off the ground. So kudos to her too. But I just wanted to tell you guys, from the bottom of my heart, you guys are killing it. You guys are doing well. I'll try never to miss this call. But if there's any other agents that need to be on this call, we all should invite them to come to this community because it's very informative. And if you guys need anything, questions answered, I'll put my info on the chat as well.
Absolutely, Maria. You're more than welcome to show up at our office. Congratulations. It takes some big, to open up your own office. If you need some pointers, I'm sure we'll share our information. We don't care what company you work with. Once again, we're not trying to recruit anybody. We're only here to give away, always give. Just like Trisha Amara used to tell me when I had nothing, Alfred, when you come from a place of giving and not expecting nothing in return, you'll be less disappointed, right? So you always want to give. Jesse Moreno is one of those guys. What's up, Jesse? I think he's on mute. He's probably in a car right now. You're on mute?
Jesse Moreno?
No, Jesse Morfin, I'm sorry.
Oh, hey, what's up, Alfred?
Yeah, how you been?
Thanks for, I've been good, man. Thanks for, letting me come in here. And I just wanted to actually say congratulations on the job of being consistent. So the whole true thing about, being successful in this business is consistency. And your email, your post that just said follow up. That was one of the things that, I resonated with me, and I wanted to go ahead and just chime in and say, what an amazing job. And again, if you come from a place of service, you will definitely be less disappointed moving forward. So yeah, amazing. Just I'm stuttering because a lot of people don't know that I do stutter. But when I am scripted and I am on the phone with practice, it just flows, guys. So practice makes perfect. Yes, absolutely. Because now you know the answers to the test. And, being in an accountability group just like this is definitely, where we all need to be. So thank you for the invitation, Alfred.
Absolutely, guys. And like I said, we have some legends here besides Jesse Morfin. We had Arlen Perla, we had David Deanda, we have Felix, we have Garcia, we have Robert. I mean, all of you guys here, remember, these communities right now, we need to help each other because of every uncertainty that's going on out there. Like I'm not sure who said it. We can't control what happens outside of our business, but we can control what happens in our business. And I hope you guys understand that you need to surround yourself. And I'm telling you, it's hard to do. I had this conversation with Jesse Moreno at the barbershop. He's like, yeah, I haven't seen you. We haven't done this. I haven't seen you do this. And I told Jesse, like a friend, hey, bro, I got to cut people out of my life. It's not that I don't want them in my life. It's just that right now they're not meant to be part of my life. I love them from a distance. I keep an eye on them and I wish them nothing but the best. But I got to do what's best for me and my business right now. And that's what you guys got to think about too. Sometimes we don't want to let go of other people that we go have a beer with, or we go to Top Golf, or we go hang out. Hey, if your business is not right, and remember, if your business is not right, then something's not right at home. Everything falls apart like a house of cards. And sometimes you need to go back and evaluate yourself. Like, shit, why is Jesse Morfin killing it right now in real estate and I'm not? You got to ask yourself that question instead of hating. Ask yourself, what is that person doing that I'm not doing? What is Robert over there at Hauser doing that I can do? What can Felix tell me of the market that we're in right now? Because he's been to several markets that I should be doing right now. And a lot of it, guys, is not your shiny agent syndrome. It's not the new CRM that just came out, or the AI, or the ringless voicemails, or I could go on and on. It's not. Sometimes it's just back to the basics. The basics, right? Open houses are gold right now. That's where you're gonna make your money fast. Door knocking, become the neighborhood expert. That doesn't mean you have to put just listed, just sold. It could be just a market report of what's going on in your community. Become the expert in your community, right? Also, what else is working, right? Following up with your circle of influence, of people that already know you're a realtor. Sometimes you need to call these people and let them know, hey, it's a good time to buy right now because of this, and this. And right now the sellers are willing to pay concessions for this and that. And guess what? Felix just closed a transaction up there in Hesperia with only $1,800. Why? Because he did the down payment assistance program, and they get some concessions, or they did some closing costs where the buyer only did a $2,000 deposit and only needed $1,800 to buy a $480,000 house. So please don't tell me that the market's bad. You just have to become resourceful, find the resources. Reach out to Jesse Morano, reach out to Jesse Morfin, of course. Ask them if they have time. I know Jesse Morfin has his own training. He does his own training. I know Jesse over here, he's doing social media. Reach out to him if you're stuck. Reach out to Felix. Reach out to Alex Garcia if you're confused with the contracts or everything that's going to be happening. Once again, we have this attorney coming. What day is he coming, Felix, before we end this call?
August 26th.
August 26th. So we're going to make a big flyer. You know what? Felix and Alex, we'll talk about it. See if we could get some vendors to sponsor some lunch. We'll make a big flyer invitation. We'll do an Eventbrite. We'll ask Jesse Morfin if he wants to invite some of his people. We'll ask Maria. Maria, you open up your new office. Bring your agents over here. Ask these questions to this attorney who's going to be here, who's going to discuss what's going on with the laws and things that are changing. Hey, and you don't get to pay for it. It's already on somebody else's dime. So take advantage of it. Remember, guys, this is a community for you guys. Don't forget also, we have a community where I give everything for free. What does that mean? So you guys know, before I used to be with the Empire Academy. Unfortunately, we had to shut down the Empire Academy. But guess what? My good friend Robert told me, Alfred, you give so much knowledge. Why are you not giving more stuff away? So that's when we joined. I just put on the link, join Real Closers community. Real Closers is a community where we give you everything for free. Free. Nobody's paying for nothing. There's videos there. You could pull referrals. We have everything on PDFs, from marketing to memes. Everything you can think of, it's all there for free. You can also post your open houses, what you're selling, if you need help. Go check it out. I just put it on the chat. It says join Real Closers. Click on the community. Once again, this is for free. It's not going to ask you for your credit card. And I'm always going to give as much as I can. So anybody else want to close this call with any takeaways? It's open mic. Go for it.
I don't have a takeaway, but I do have a question. It's Frankie.
Oh, go ahead, Frankie.
I received a text this morning asking if, so there was a property, so I'll read it. So if multiple people own property, a vacant land, and it was one of them is placed on Medicaid and falls sick and passes away, when property sells at a later time, does Medicaid come after his portion or the whole part?
Great question. Felix, did you hear that? I don't know if Felix can hear me or Alex Garcia.
Medicare?
Medicaid. Do they come after the portion of the person that's on title? Or do they go after, like if it's split, like there's 1, 2, there would have been 3 of them on title, and then one of them passed away. Do they, when they sell later on, will Medicaid come after all of the portion of it, or just the portion of the person on title?
It depends on how they're holding title. And it depends on if the property was in a trust or not, but it depends on how they're holding title. Because there's a difference between like joint tenants or tenants in common. So it really depends on how they're holding title.
So if they're joint tenants, will Medicaid come after all of it?
I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember exactly which one is the right one, but I do have an attorney you can talk to.
Okay.
Jesse, has that happened with you, Jesse Morfin? Oh, you're on mute.
Alfred, I think it's rights to survivorship. So if it's rights to survivorship, I think that's when they can come after you, right? Because title could be vested as, joint and then rights to survivorship. So I guess I think
Yeah,
that's what it is.
community-
Yeah,
Answer.
but that's
Community
only if they're
property.
married. If they're not
Community
married,
Right,
then
right.
with
Oh, if
rights.
they're not married. Sorry.
yeah.
So real quick, I know Jesse deals with a lot of insurance and all that. Jesse Morfin. Jesse, has that happened with you before?
It has, and that was with a tenant in common. And Medi-Cal went ahead and slapped a lien on the property for $345,000 on a $500,000 deal.
Wow.
So, so the one advice that I give to everyone is, have the property in a living trust. Jesse Moreno just basically said with the rights of survivorship. Yes, that works. Rights of survivorship just basically mean that if the person passes away, the rights of the property move right over to the next person. But if, they are in the hospital, and I'm going to tell you, they're very quick with getting or trying to collect their money. They have a team that is, running their Social Security to find out what assets they are in place or entitled to. So the minute that the hospital just says, yeah, go ahead, admit them, you're literally signing a contract with that hospital that you're going to pay them back, and they have the rights to it because you do have money. So be careful with that. But definitely, Frankie, the next step at that particular point would be to forward them over to a living trust attorney ASAP.
Okay, yeah, it's because it's not in a living trust. I know that.
Right.
What
Yeah, that's exactly the point.
So
It's
can
not a living.
they can put it in a living trust now, even though the one brother passed away?
No, just to get information and advice
Oh,
on
I see what you're saying. Okay.
situation.
Yeah. By the way, if a person did pass away, and they do not have interest, it just goes to the next person in line. Depending on how title was held, you could absolutely put a property in a living trust. A living trust is literally a personal company, almost similar to a LLC. So that now if somebody, tries to come after you, that entity, that property is protected. And I'll tell you, spending $2,000, $3,000 for that living trust is definitely going to save people hundreds of thousands. I've seen it. I've actually, just to give you guys a quick little story, and I know you guys are already gone past the hour. I just closed a deal where it was in Long Beach. The property was $500,000, which that's unheard of. But he was offered a cash offer. I have a fiduciary duty to get the people as much money as possible. We put the property up for sale. Of course, it sold for $725,000. So here's the thing. The dad deeded the property to daughter 2 years ago, right after he had a stroke. The property was deeded without, one, it being in a living trust. Number two, there being a will in place, or a affidavit for, a medical reason. Long story short, the old man is in hospice. He still is in there now. He had a stroke. When the notary went to sign the deed, because by the way, remember that the property was deeded to the daughter. The title company said, we're not taking that. We need an affidavit, a statement of information to see if anything is owed by dad on that. So that just happened. After we found out that the dad was, still alive, but in hospice, title said, we're not going to record it because of the fact that the the signatures do not match on the grant deed. Well, why did they not match? The gentleman had a stroke, can no longer sign with his right hand. He now has to sign with his left. It went back to title, and title said, the only way we're going to do this is because I know the gentleman can't speak, he can't write. We need a letter from his doctor. That transaction took an extra 17 days, not because we didn't do our job, but because the transfer of title was done incorrectly, and the seller had to pay for the rate lock extension on that particular deal because it was not the buyer's fault. So, you know, what Alfred said is correct. We get paid for the knowledge that we know, and having a community like this to be able to bring those really important questions is priceless, guys. So again, I really do thank you guys, you know, for the stage. Alfred, I'm definitely gonna go ahead and invite other, you know, of my agents over, you know, for the next role play session. I really thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Jesse.
Absolutely, Frankie. What a great question. I never thought about that. It's crazy, right? How we help people buy or sell the biggest asset, but we don't help them to protect it. Think about that for a little bit. Let it resonate. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next role play.
Alfred,
Thank you guys so much. Yes.
Alfred, real quick, you said that you want to protect your assets. Remember, put your bank account in a trust as well. If you have your bank account in a trust, the IRS cannot come after you. It cannot come after those funds. So just FYI.
Awesome, Mortgage Line. Once again, thank everybody that was here. I see Jesse Morfin, Beverly, Felix, Alex Garcia, Maria, Mehans, Carlos, Frankie, Viviana, Jesse, Nicole, Jonathan, two Jonathans, Juliana, Tabitha, Mr. iPhone. And once again, guys, make it a great day. Nothing else pays. Go find this market in this market. Take care, guys. On to the next. Peace out.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.